I've been advertised to as well and made big purchases based on being targeted on socials, and I'm aware of it. But I'm also like, again, critical thinking. So I wouldn't have known this exists unless I was part of this funnel. But I enjoy the product.
Yeah.
I'm aware that I was, mind raped a little bit. But,
what did you call that?
But it's a good outcome. I'm happy because I have something because that process also conditions me for pleasure.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point of it. Like without that, there's no dopamine at the end. You're fucking left with just Wheat Bix and full cream milk.
You feel alive, let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, might break a backbone. Return of the Mac, the king is back though. Corvette and cash, I never lack those.
Welcome to an episode of the No Brew and Jerks podcast, a podcast that deconstructs consumer culture and media with no brew and jerks allowed. So if you are one, get going. In today's podcast, you're joined by me, Liv, Ty, and Nicole. To our newfound friends that are currently listening, you are the OGs. Every Wednesday, you'll find us on all podcast streaming platforms chatting about all things business, PR, comms, with a dash of shit talk because who doesn't love that? Let's get into it, shall we? Oh my goodness, we're going! Okay, so I thought, well, should we just get straight into it with our weekly dopes and nopes? Goodness me. Already throwing things. You having a tanty?
Ready.
I'm just clearing space, valuable real estate.
Oh, is that so? Selling sunsets?
Huh?
Can we just talk about selling sunsets? That is a whole lot of bull crap.
I've never watched it. I'm not a
Shocking.
reality TV
I
fan.
did binge watch the whole latest season. Only because Kat's so obsessed with it though.
No.
She's like, what's the lady she's obsessed with? The one that got married?
Rochelle?
Yeah. So
No, not about it.
I enjoyed it. I think there's something nice about watching like stupid people that have become awfully successful because it gives everyone else a bit of hope.
Yeah, but it's not about the real estate. Like, that's why I wanted to watch it at the start. It was like all like the big mansions and like the $1 million listings. But like now it's just like drama.
But how I find it weirdly inspiring that people with like zero like skills other than like personality disorders can become like successful and famous and aspirational.
Yeah, I get that.
It gives us a bit of hope.
That should have been my weekly nope.
Should have.
But
Should have
yeah,
been mine.
that's all right.
But that would have been my dope. So then we would have been hammer time.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like to introduce the hammer. So in every episode when we start to talk over each other or we have really, what do you call
When
it?
things
Robust?
get rowdy.
Enthusiastic conversations. I will just give this a little tap and
Order in the house.
Yeah, order of the house.
Great.
So, yes. Anyways, let's move on to our weekly dopes and nopes.
It is time for dopes and nopes.
Every week, this is where we discuss our nopes, where we're like, hell no, this is not a vibe, we don't like this, to our dopes, this is cool, recommendations. So, Ty, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. I'll kick off with my note for this week. I was actually just perusing the news 3 minutes prior to this to find out, as we probably all were. My one is actually, I just read that New South Wales Parliament has attempted to ban the term mate after anonymous complaints.
Oi, mate.
Boy, you might. The government ministers actually had to take a respect at work training workshop and were advised to stop using the word because I'm assuming Karen from not even HR. Imagine Karen would have been the security person at the gate just checking passes, and someone would have said, "Good morning, mate," and she would have lost it.
To be fair, I will say I feel like in a certain context, mate can be very passive aggressive.
That's the beauty of the word. So you can fuck like
And champ.
and champ.
Yeah.
All right, champ. Actually, if someone calls you champ in the wrong way, that's almost fighting words.
So you don't like that?
If condescendingly, if someone said, "All right, champ," I'd be like, "Let's step outside." Yeah.
Never calling Ty champ.
No, that's a big nope. That's probably the weekly
Hard
nope.
nope.
Yeah, calling
Yeah.
champ. But yeah, it's quite a champ culture, like a champ cancel culture, where it's like you don't champ someone or you don't mate someone now. Is that the way it's going?
I don't know. It's like we were recently speaking to someone and it was the same kind of actually, I won't go down that path because it's...
Ty's scared he's going to get cancelled within the first 5 minutes of
Let's
the
just
podcast.
tap that one before we get any deeper. But anyways, so thoughts, feelings, suggestions on this New South Wales Parliament attempt to ban the term?
I think broadly it's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
But like then if you attach it to an individual that which you do for the sake of jumping on a news cycle, if you attach it to someone that's typically misogynist, like sure. I see it in that context where you're trying to make it a polarizing discussion topic, but broadly, like, get a life, really.
Agreed.
Oh,
I feel like it's almost gender neutral as well.
yeah,
you know?
I agree.
I feel like mate is a very inclusive term.
It's like mateship as well. Like,
Yeah.
So you think it's a good thing?
I think so. I call people mate all of the time.
Yeah.
I've probably called both of you mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do actually
On a
use mate
regular
a lot.
basis.
You go,
Yeah.
thanks, mate. Yeah. I'd rather mate the champ, so.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Champs.
That's fine.
Champs, the pits.
Okay, so heading into your dope then.
all right, this is weird. The UK has actually just launched the first retirement home for bees. So
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know where they get retired from.
Wait, what is that? We're going to need to do a bit of a deep dive. I feel like we could do an entire podcast
So
episode on
apparently
that.
there's like a retirement home for bees where they go into just like, I don't know, a garden where they retire.
But what classifies a retired bee? Like, is it a certain age? Like,
Oh, should I pull up the story?
where are your
It must
sources?
be-
I want facts.
It must be only female bees because
Yes.
every time
Yeah, someone's got to pay for the
Male
hive
bee.
mortgage.
and so every time a male bee gets like impregnates the queen, they die.
So there's
pretty
no
sure.
retirement for them then.
They
just
get
die.
retired in the
Oh,
worst
God.
way possible.
Die.
Created by
Yeah.
Flying Flowers, bees visiting the honeysuckle bee retirement home can look forward to getting some rest and rejuvenation with facilities like recreational areas that are surrounded with pollen-filled flowers, a sugar water fountain, and even mini armchairs.
Oh, bless.
I don't know
With
about
bee numbers decreasing worldwide,
that. No.
we're sure this is great inspiration for others to create their own bee havens.
Oh,
Okay, I mean,
really cute.
Yet Nike's still using toddlers to make shoes.
yeah, this is what I'm saying. I feel like those resources could be better used elsewhere.
Look, I say save the bees because aren't they quite
It's
important?
True. Very important, yeah.
Yeah, so why not? I think that's cute, but only in the UK.
Only in the UK. I think I'm sure it'll be implemented in Australia if it could have swayed some undecided voters, but
I
was gonna
will
say.
say, I feel like it's a missed opportunity because instead of retirement village, they should have called it Bee-Tirement Village.
Oh,
Yeah.
good job, good job. How long were you thinking of that one?
It just came to me.
Oh, wow.
I'm a genius.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I think I think it's cute. I like your dope. Good job. And that was like, yeah, that's our first kind of nope and dope of the episode. So chee-hoo. Nick,
Gee-hoo.
what's your nope and dope?
Okay, I'm going to start with my nope.
Well, I'm keen for this.
And you know what? I feel like I'm coming out as a villain of this podcast because my nope for this week is the Met Gala.
Your nope.
The entire Met Gala is my nope.
Okay, so-
and here
yeah.
is why. Let me explain.
Okay.
It was just so banal, so disappointing. I want to see a Met Gala red carpet where people are like embracing the theme.
Yeah.
What was the
And
theme, sorry?
The theme was gilded glamour.
Yeah.
And honestly, everybody fell flat.
What does that
It was
theme
a
mean?
reference
Sorry.
to like the Gilded Age.
Let me-
And like gold and affluence. It was when like a lot of upper class Americans like built up their wealth. Liv can give us a better description probably.
trying to
So
find it
isn't that
now.
just what the Met Gala is about every year anyway? Just like rich
Well-
people hanging out with each other?
Last year it was like something to do with USA history or something like that. But the point is, I feel like every year for the past few years, everybody's just kind of fallen flat. Like I want to see some interpretive wearable art, people working with designers to like do something really cool and different that's not like your standard red carpet, you know, because that's what the Met Gala is all about.
Jared
it's about,
Leto
like,
was pretty
out there,
gnarly.
but then
I
he
feel like-
always is.
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like he would wear that to a standard red carpet anyway. So
So unless you're reinventing yourself, it's not
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I want to see people like doing something different and exciting and embracing the opportunity to like really go for
Yeah.
it. And that didn't happen. And it hasn't happened for the last few years and it's disappointing. And so it's a no from me.
Yeah, they just kind of use that as like a stage to just like PR attention, like just get their name out there kind of thing. But like what classifies a invite? Like how do you I have no idea how
Well,
you get an
Anna
invite to
Wintour is the person who writes the guest list.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I know, I guess you have to be
just have to
friends
be
with
friends
I
her.
think Gladdy got an invite.
Who?
Gladdy.
Who's that?
Gladdy
from the retired New South Wales Premier.
What?
That cannot possibly be
That's
true.
not-
Oh, she's a big deal now. No.
That's
Oh my
fake
God,
news.
that is fake news.
Absolutely
Can we
fake.
create an audio where it's like fake news, like Trump saying that is fake news?
It's real.
Well, it says here, so invites, in 2021, invites called for guests to channel American independence with their outfits instead. So, but yeah, Gilded Glamour. It was in America, an anthology of fashion. So
Yeah. Well, I didn't see a lot of fashion.
apparently
I'll be
Kim was
honest.
really not on theme, even though we
Yeah.
loved the look.
I loved the look, but again, it was kind of banal for
Yeah.
what it was.
Okay.
You know, going from the black, all over bodysuit, including the face, to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a step up, but still disappointing.
But her like all black outfit was like a PR stunt to like support Kanye, like in his new album, wasn't it? Like she was dressing like that to support and to promote.
Well, look how that turned out.
Yeah, look. Poor
Guys.
Kimmy.
Oh, while we're on that,
Ooh.
wait, is this another topic we're discussing later on? But Pete getting like Kanye and Kim's kids tattooed on his neck.
Yeah, you said that, but
That's a no.
Yeah, that's definitely a note for me, actually. Because, like, if you're dating someone, particularly if I was in Kanye's shoes, you'd be pretty upset if someone got your kid's name tattooed on their neck after, like, dating your, ex-wife for 6 months.
doesn't he only
That's
have
a little bit
Kim's
creepy,
name?
right?
What is it? I'm trying
be
to
calling
have
dogs.
it fine now. I think he has like Kim and kids initials tattooed on
Yeah.
his neck.
Creepy. Creepy
he's
or
got
not?
a lot of
That's creepy,
tattoos.
right?
He does have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, but kids' names on your neck.
It's a bit creepy.
That is
Like,
a bit
yeah.
weird. I don't know.
If ScoMo got some kid's name tattooed on his neck, he'd be in strife.
If you're watching us on YouTube, we will insert a video, a little picture of these tattoos. But he has a lot.
Yeah, he should be put on a watch list for that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Pete. But anyways, I'm sure we'll have another episode where we'll get into the relationship status of Pete and Kim. And apparently, I was listening to the Life Uncut podcast this morning. Apparently, Kim is getting Kim is photoshopping Pete's jaw in her photos.
Stop. That's very controversial.
What's sharpening it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna suss
I
this
think
shit
she's
out.
got a nice jawline regardless. So, I mean,
So anyways, there was just photoshopping drama where she photoshopped another like child's face on another child's face, like her in her family members, because their outfits were more aesthetic to her grid profile. So she photoshopped Chloe's child onto one of the kids in the photo, but in doing that, she had to adjust the skin tone as well. So there's controversy with that because changing skin color in photos.
wait, lighter or darker?
Darker.
Oh,
Yeah.
My wife gets spray tans. Is that all right?
that's fine.
I get spray tans. That's okay. But
Guys,
So
yeah.
is there not a social problem with spray tans these days?
No.
I don't think so.
Isn't it a version of blackface?
Oh.
That's
a
not,
big
not
rabbit
the
hole.
way not the way most people do it. No, although I think
I don't know.
let's edit this bit out.
Jeez. All right. Moving on.
I'm
What is your dope for the week, Nick?
Guys, do you want to know what's really dope this week?
Oh God.
The iPhone 6.
Oh
Can I just say to everybody out there, these let me speak. These people have been roasting me mercilessly for a couple of weeks
Well, tell
now.
them what you did first of all.
Well, I replaced my old iPhone with an iPhone 6.
What was your
repurposed.
What was your old iPhone?
It was an iPhone SE.
And she bought the iPhone 6 as well. When we
yeah,
have
it wasn't given.
No,
it wasn't
it
a
wasn't
hand
gifted.
down. She
Yeah, but-
paid money to.
I think
I didn't pay much money for it. But okay, let me explain. It is functional. It is sustainable because it's repurposed. And it does everything that it needs to do.
It still has a home button.
So it does everything that it needs to do. And you know what? It's dope. And as the young people say, don't at me.
it's like
is
a good
great.
vintage car.
I love that. Exactly. Vintage is so hot right now.
Yeah,
so
but like, yeah. Okay. Well,
Liv
it's
has a lot of problems.
Well, then, like Ty and I are here with like our 13 Pros.
Actually, I've been having struggles. I didn't realise till a while when I put it in focus mode, it turns off my notification for some text. So I've been missing people's texts for like a week.
Yeah, focus is pretty much like do not disturb.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
You know what you need to uncomplicate your life.
We need
iPhone
tech
6.
assistants.
Well, there's a new learning. So Focus will mute your text messages if you didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
That's Ty's
if you know
101
me,
for the week.
I don't go really well with muted notifications. I prefer to get all the notifications.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like your dope. It's
You don't, but that's
I
okay.
don't, but I'm accepting. But you have a reason why you chose to go for that phone. What's your belief system in that? I feel like-
I went on a whole tangent when you guys first started to roast me about forced obsolescence and the fact that, Apple is always constantly upgrading, sometimes once a year, sometimes multiple times a year. And people are throwing out their stuff that really doesn't need to be replaced. And look, no judgment if you do that, because I understand that we're all just working within the system that we're given. But my choice
We're all
is
just like the little minions.
Exactly. We can't compete with big tech, but my choice is to stick with something old school. And yeah, there are places where you can go and buy a refurbished old phone so that you're not buying brand new.
Should we link that in the show notes?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. We need to get them to sponsor us.
Yes. What's the company called? Should we give them a shout out?
I think they're called Ozmobiles. Shout out
Ozmobiles.
Ozmobiles.
Yeah, shout out to Ozmobiles. I also have a box of, I think, like 6 old iPhones under my desk somewhere, so you're welcome
you
to
said that.
ravage that whenever you want.
No, I always sell mine. I sold it to a really nice lady that just smashed her phone, my old one.
I just get anxiety if, like, somehow data being retrieved and people having access
You
to
like wipe
shit they
it
shouldn't.
though.
Yeah, you can.
But
you
still,
can
it's just
format
like,
it.
I'd rather, for the sake of a couple $100, it's like just the anxiety of them maybe, just running through an image gallery or some shit like that. I'd rather burn it.
Fair enough.
Or give it to Nicole. I trust Nicole.
Love it. All right, so I will start off with my dope. You guys both started with your nope, didn't you? So I'm going to start with my dope. So I'm late to the party, but I started the Ted Lasso TV show, which is on Apple Plus.
It's the goods.
So good. Started season 2 only a few days ago.
I have a tangent. In the real world, did you see how he's currently going through a divorce?
The real guy.
Yeah, and his wife got served their divorce papers while she was on stage in an award show. She was there. Someone walked onto stage and served her papers on the stage.
That's got to be a stunt.
Hectic. And he said he wasn't aware of it, nor does he support that.
He gets that on the show as well. Sorry, spoilers.
There's
But
no
Sorry,
way
interrupted.
that could be real.
It's legit. He's now, I think-
Jason Sudeikis.
yeah, look at the papers being served.
Olivia Wilde is his
Yeah,
ex. So Olivia Wilde. So this is TMZ. This is a reputable source.
Very.
Olivia Wilde, Sudeikis served, caught on video. Oh yeah, she's up on stage.
Yeah.
I will insert it into
and someone
the
just
video.
walks up and serves her court dogs.
I'm sus on that. Hey, I
Yeah.
just don't know how.
Hectic. But she was a trooper. She looked at it and then she just
Oh my God,
moved on.
guys. Okay, so we're going to put this into the video. So if you're watching on YouTube, but otherwise, if you're listening to us, basically this video is like she's just speaking on stage in this killer blue suit and she just picks up these papers and yeah, look. She's like,
That cannot be real. Surely
is.
there'd be like security
look, she's
backstage
like,
and
looks
people being
a
like,
promo. Look.
no.
Oh my God,
That.
Oh my God, could you imagine? She thought it was a script. Oh
my
God.
God, that's so uncomfortable.
Oh my God.
It's almost like the chocolate dick.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit later. But oh my gosh. Well, apparently, yeah, she kept her composure. But it literally says on the
The envelope.
personal and confidential.
Oh God.
Yikes. I wonder what happened there. Oh, they have 2 young children
Yeah,
together.
I think they're going through a paternity battle or something like that. But
Oh gosh.
yeah,
Wow.
you just
That's pretty petty.
you
Can
got
you
served.
imagine doing that at your ex-partner's work function?
Yeah.
I don't think he had anything to do. He claims he had nothing to do with that
Righto.
decision.
So what, you think a friend just dropped it off for like a lawyer or
Well,
something?
there's like in the States they have like companies that serve people with legal docs because I'm pretty sure like you have to have some kind of accredited person deliver documents for people to receive them to officially like activate them.
Right. Well, I would not enjoy that. I don't know how she kept speaking though. Wow. Okay, well, going back to my dope, Ted Lasso, watch it if you haven't already. Have you watched it, Nick?
No, never seen it.
It's just a really good, feel-good show. It's just got really good positive messaging in it. It's funny. They won heaps of awards for it as well. But yeah, it's just a show where basically it's just like a football club, soccer in the UK, and a lot of shit goes down, and basically this guy, which is Ted Lasso, who's played by Jason Sudeikis, he is employed to he's American and he has no background in soccer, and he's employed to come in
NFL coach.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's come in to pretty much destroy the club on purpose because
he doesn't know that. He's been employed by the owner's wife,
Rebecca.
Yeah. And she employs him intentionally to try and destroy the club, but it has the opposite effect.
Yeah, because he's such a great guy about like teamwork and all the boys getting together and like just having like a really good team camaraderie. Anyways, they end up doing really well. Spoilers. But anyways, yeah, it's just a really good feel-good show. So
okay,
watch it. Then moving on to my Nope. It is another TV like movie recommendation that is on Netflix this time. It's called The Weekend Away. I watched it 2 nights ago and it was a waste of an hour and a half. It was shocking.
Is this the mystery one with the 2 friends? Okay.
Yeah, it was like, they didn't even say where it was set in, but basically there was just like her friend dies, spoiler, disappears on a night out, and basically this friend's left to kind of like find her tracks. It's played by, let me just have a look. It's like the girl out of Gossip Girl.
Which one, Blair or Serena?
Blair.
Oh, yes.
Leighton.
I've watched that. Yeah, that's shocking.
It was so bad.
So shit.
It was just like...
Yeah, and she ends up getting killed by the cop because the cop tries to crack onto her.
No,
Yeah.
but the cop
guys,
didn't end up
spoilers.
killing her. It was her husband.
Oh, it is too. Yes, because she's having an affair. Yeah. No,
I'm sure now I can't watch
no,
this.
but it has the
because
potential to go
spoiled.
cult classic, I reckon, like Napoleon Dynamite.
It was shit.
Yeah.
It was it was in Croatia.
Yeah,
and
it was in Split.
Yeah, no, she tries to figure out what happens, and people are accusing her that she killed her, and
It's
there's
definitely an excuse for I think a work junket. They're like, we just want to go film in Croatia.
Oh,
Let's
it
put something
was
together.
bad. It was really bad. But anyways, that is my Nope. So if you're looking at it, don't waste your time. That's an hour and a half that you could be doing something else. You could be watching Ted Lasso. Anyways, moving on. Let's get into the topic for today. So it is all about social media habits. So millennials versus Zoomers, boomers versus Zoomers, whatever you want to call it. We are going to speak about our social media habits. And first of all, I want us all to go through our phones and have a look at our phone statistics. So you can find that in your settings for people playing at home. You can go into your settings and into your, where are we?
Screen time?
Screen time.
Is it the same on an
Apple
iPhone
devices.
6?
Well, I was a bit worried about that. So
Knocking 63
I hope. So basically, let's go through.
Is it battery?
No, screen time.
Ooh, where's that at?
Wow, you really are how old are you?
Oh, this is what...
He's a millennial.
You help me
What
with
am
this.
I?
You're a Gen Z.
I'm a Zoomer.
Or a Zoomer, but I don't
I'm a
know if
Zoomer,
Zoomer
baby.
is derogatory or not. So
Help.
Yeah, I know how to do it through battery.
Do you not have screen time? Oh, there. Screen time. Okay, so we're all on the screen time.
All right.
Cameras, screen time. So let's first of all, let's go into our week. So if you go into
okay.
week, let's compare weeks. Ty,
Okay.
what's your daily average?
Screen time,
Yeah.
2 hours and 24 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Is that good? That's good.
Yeah, it's slower than mine.
What's yours?
4 hours and 25 minutes.
What is wrong with
It's
you?
because I have it on when I'm driving.
I have, but
You're not allowed
do
to do
drive
that?
from Brisbane.
Yeah, you can.
What
if
do you-
it's on
do you watch YouTube?
No. No, I listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
But sometimes I listen to them on YouTube, like the way this setup is. But I'm listening, but it's just like a screen. So
Right. Okay.
See.
I have we're looking at daily average, right?
Yes.
I have 2 hours and 41 minutes, but that's based on the past week. So
And saying that, we stare at a lot of, given our nature of work, we have a lot of social up on like these screens as well, I suppose.
We do.
Yeah.
So what's everyone's most used app? So if you scroll down a little bit further.
It's the Instagrams.
Yeah, mine's Instagram of 2 hours and... Why? That doesn't even make sense. I think it's...
No, because it's weekly average. So that's your daily screen time, but then your weekly average usage on that app.
But my
might be
usage is more than my weekly average altogether. So mine's 2 hours and 59 minutes.
Yeah, mine's the same actually.
What do you have?
2 hours 39.
And it's Instagram?
Yes. No, but it says daily average is 53 minutes. So apparently on Tuesday, yesterday, because we're back at work, my average peaked.
My most used app is also Instagram.
Wow, how many hours?
Well, it says 4 hours and 32 minutes, but I don't think that's possible.
I think because once you fall down a black hole of creeping, you don't realise how much time you're wasting.
I think
you
it's
just come out the other end.
I think it's because I leave it open and it just plays through reels.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like off doing other stuff.
Sure. That's what she says.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And then mine's messages afterwards and then TikTok.
Mine's Safari next.
Messages and Chrome. Who uses Chrome?
I do, to read shit.
Oh, okay.
Who uses Safari?
I use
Everyone?
Safari. Safari's my second most
You're
used
kidding,
app.
aren't you?
Yeah.
My Safari's not even on my most used. It's like, Instagram, messages,
All right, we'll do
and
a
TikTok.
poll. Do a poll after this on Chrome versus Safari. I'll put.
Oh, for sure.
Well, it's different on your laptop, but on here I just use Safari.
No, you have the Chrome app, and because your Chrome app then links with your favorites with your laptop too. But I would,
Is this controversial? I feel like maybe
Yes,
this is
I think it is.
controversial.
I
don't
think this
know.
is
It's either controversial or just fucking boring.
Yeah, that could be either.
just like
could go
our
either way.
ages playing. But then you guys are like,
How
close
am
in
I
age.
the one who's got the most screen time out of everyone? That's
Maybe-
what I want to know.
Maybe you're just really enthusiastic about your iPhone upgrade.
Yeah, maybe she's just like, it's so good on Instagram.
Yeah.
My quality is so good.
Or you need to stare at the screen longer to digest the content
To justify.
through your limited pixels.
Okay, and then I think this one's really interesting. How many pickups do you guys have a daily average of?
What'd I find out?
What is that?
So scroll down a little bit further. So my daily average is 116. So that's how many times you pick up your phone.
Where's that?
So scroll down a little bit
Oh.
further after your most used apps. Jeez Louise. Ty.
Downtime, app limits, communication limits. What? No. Oh no, maybe the iPhone 6 doesn't have this. Oh no, wait. 91 pickups daily
91.
average.
Okay.
29% down from last week. Is that because it's only just the start of the week?
Probably.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I
So
have
these are
116.
inaccurate stats, really.
Oh, daily average. Uh-oh.
And then how many notifications? Keep going.
So my pickups.
Uh-oh.
You have a lot.
So do we want total pickups?
Daily average.
Mine's like 500.
No, 177.
Oh, sweet.
And then total pickups for the week.
530. Is that okay? What were you guys? Sorry.
I was total pickups for the week 348.
273. See, this is why my screen time makes no sense.
No, but that's bad. That means once you pick up your phone, you're
You're
highly
on it.
engaged
Stay
for a
on
long
it.
period of
Well,
time.
true. Yeah, okay.
And me, and
touche.
I'm just sporadic.
Yeah, you do pick it up a lot. Okay, and then keep going down. How many daily average notifications? I have 60.
117.
Popular girl.
No wonder I'm stressed, hey.
Mine's 145.
But then I have all of my notifications turned off except for text messages and phone. So all my social media is all turned off.
That's smart.
Yeah, that is.
I have
smart.
emails on though, but yeah, everything else is turned off. But you guys don't have that, so
This is making me very accountable. I feel like we should do this more often.
yeah. Well, it also kind of plays a part in like I used to get like really bad anxiety with like seeing all the notifications pop up and like how many people liked my photo or whatever it was. Oi, you do the same. And anyways, it's just like you're constantly on, you're constantly wired, and you're constantly like like always reminding you like what's happening in the online world. And I just turned it all off, and now I'm chilling.
Chill.
It's nice.
Yeah. So anyways, that was a cool little thing to kick us off in the topic today. So now that we've looked at our most used social media platform, which is obviously Instagram, it's funny how Facebook wasn't up there.
No.
No.
Well, I don't feel like either of our generations really use Facebook. I use Messenger to chat with people overseas.
Group
And group chats. But
and
I would never use
Marketplace.
Yeah, and Marketplace. But I never like go on my feed and scroll through. Like I wouldn't even know what is on my feed anymore.
Yeah, fair. No, I don't. I hardly do that. They've now introduced Reels into Facebook to kind of compete with TikTok, because TikTok's like the number one. It's like TikTok and YouTube and then Instagram.
Does it just carry through Instagram, like link up like previous content?
No, it doesn't link up. It's like separate. Like you post on Facebook your Reels, but like it's just not cool. And apparently like the whole news feed is going to completely change to just Reels, just because they're trying to keep up with the form of
video
communication. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which, I don't know, just keep it as it is. Like stop trying to copy each other. Like TikTok now has stories, like Instagram stories, but not Instagram, but like it has stories that are only up for 24 hours. And I just feel like the social media platforms just need to stay in their own lane.
No, I think it's about trying to cannibalize the other.
It is. It very much is. But as a consumer, I prefer each one having a separate use.
But you can have a different persona on each platform, though. I suppose you use each platform for a different purpose, or you have a different personality on each platform.
And I just feel like I like how they're each different. Like I like how TikTok has your short videos and it's more entertaining, and then Instagram is more of like a personal forum for me. Like it's more personal, where I keep up to date with like my friends, influencers. Well, that's what I use like for my job, like planning content, and then Facebook is more for just like, I don't know, more like
Talking to your gran.
Yes, exactly. Groups, keeping in touch internationally.
Yeah.
Do you guys use WhatsApp?
Yeah, for some people, like I have some friends or family members that only use WhatsApp, and I can't just send them a text message. So I use WhatsApp for that.
Yeah.
And also, this is a good pro tip. If you're sending people images, like if you're sending images from an iPhone to an Android, if you send through WhatsApp, the quality is higher than if you just message them.
Right.
Like if you can't airdrop them, basically.
Well, that's what we need to do with Hannah. Because Hannah's the only, what, is it Samsung?
Yes.
Samsung is like, yeah. So, yeah, we're going to keep that in mind. All right. So I want to ask you both, in 3 words, how would you describe your relationship with social media? You can think of it as one platform you most use, which is Instagram, but like 3 words that can be completely like separate words that come to your head. How would you describe your relationship with social media? Nick, do you want to start us off? Just whatever comes into your head.
Okay. Social.
Good start.
Anxious.
Yep.
And I don't know, informative.
Okay.
So I use it for a lot of like news monitoring and current affairs and opinions and stuff like that.
Okay, cool.
Which is why I'm so anxious when I use it.
Right. So you find more like your relationship, like when you hop on or when you're seeing notifications, you feel that sense of like anxiousness rather than like excitement, or like
it's more after I look at it. It's more the product of what I'm consuming.
Aftermath.
Yeah.
Right. And you're saying like the content that you're consuming is more like news-based opinions.
Yeah.
So what type of people do you follow then?
So I follow a lot of news sites.
Yeah.
And I follow a lot of like political commentary.
Yeah.
Both here and internationally. But then I also follow a lot of like influencers and, you know, things to do with my hobbies and like fashion blogs and stuff like that. And I think that kind of cross-section of information and imagery that's coming at me, particularly on Instagram, is part of what creates this like emotional roller coaster. And probably other people can relate to this too, because what happens is when you're scrolling through your feed, you get like a cute dress, a cute dog, you know, a fun like travel photo, and then you get like Ukraine being invaded by Russia.
Yeah. The stuff that makes you anxious.
Rape and murder and, you know, abortion being criminalized in America and stuff like that. And that's why I think it like amplifies the anxiety, because if it was just that and I could emotionally prepare myself every single time for just like that barrage of negativity, it would be a completely different experience from getting that like cross section of all of that different input. Your brain can't deal with that. I don't think.
And you find that that's mostly on Instagram then?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because that you choose to follow those type of platforms though.
I did this to myself.
No, but it's interesting because I feel like you wouldn't want to unfollow them, would you? Like you want to, because you also, I think we've spoken about it previously, you want to also know what's happening. Like you may get a sense of anxiousness not knowing what's happening when you're not checking as well. So there's that cycle of feeling shit afterwards because you've seen something that makes you anxious, but then having that anxiousness of news and stuff that's popping up in your feed that you're missing out on because you're not on your social media device. So it comes full
it's a vicious
circle.
cycle. Yeah.
It is quite a vicious cycle. Wow, that's very interesting. But then you also said that it's social, so you obviously use it to communicate with your friends and your opinion that way. Do you think it's more imagery or words that make you somewhat triggered or anxious? Because I know that Instagram is very visual now, with whether it's reels or stories, Instagram posts. It's more of obviously a visual platform. So do you find yourself like triggered by imagery or
I think a lot of news accounts in particular do this thing where they'll put like a headline image and then like headline text underneath.
Yeah.
And generally that is the stuff that really hits home because you see the image and then immediately you get like the information to contextualize it.
Yeah. Yeah. And are there some sources that you think that you'd recommend to people that are a good way to get your like news? Or because I know that I think it's like Daily Oz. Is it the Daily? They produce like really good social content of the news that's currently happening, but it's like more digestible. Like it's a lot easier to read.
I think that's challenging too, is where it's like this headline education or headline news cycle where, and I've been a victim of it. Even like I talk about it with V all the time, where it's like you get this snippet in a headline which is totally misleading and out of context of the actual story, and then you read. You actually, if you can be bothered, you read the article and it's a totally different take on the headline. So it's pretty dangerous. And I think there needs to be some kind of accountability and like some sort of ethics around those headlines as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too, because a lot of those stories are hidden behind paywalls too.
Yeah, right.
So they're clickbaiting you into spending money with them and, you know, getting eyes on pages. But part of because my brain won't switch off when I see a disturbing headline, I'll then go onto my laptop or just onto Safari on my phone and then do like a deep dive into whatever it is, which, you know, obviously stresses me out even more when it's a certain issue. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So is that kind of like a desire to want to save the world a little bit?
I don't know.
Or just be the best you for like within your community or it's just like how you're wired?
Yeah.
Like,
maybe it's a bit of a journo instinct as well because I was a journalist for almost 10 years and so you never switch off in that job. You're always monitoring the news cycle.
Sure.
So I think maybe there's a bit of that. But yeah, maybe it's also, particularly right now with a federal election looming, it's about, you know, staying across issues that matter to me and seeing who's sort of the best person to reflect my, you know, views and all that jazz. But
so slim pickings at the moment.
But when there's slim pickings, that is also very stressful.
So Nicole's going to run.
Absolutely not
for you.
Absolutely not. Let's not manifest that.
That's that's super interesting. Ty, how would you describe your relationship in 3 words?
The first word that came to mind to me was just fine. Like,
Fine.
my relationship's fine. Social
It's a
media.
therapy session.
Huh? Yep, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Necessary, just given the industry that we're in.
Yep.
And the other one, when I was Catfish came to mind.
Catfish.
Yeah. Just because I feel like everyone's just catfishing everyone. And
So true.
To the point where like it's funny. It's like I was chatting to someone the other day, and it's like I see everything as blur now because I don't take. Like even from people I follow that I'm friends with, it's like I truly see like content in my head as just like almost a highlight reel of just people's lives. So whilst I enjoy digesting it, I also know it's highly curated and because of that.
Yes, you take it with like a grain of salt.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Interesting. And it is true though, like some of your friends like could be posting about their partner in a great relationship, but like the reality of it, like I know with my girlfriends, like the reality of it is that they're so sad and that they're so sad with like their lives, which is really sad. But like a lot of girls like my age, they like post for validation and it's just like this facade and it was interesting listening to the Life Uncut podcast this morning. They were breaking down the Kim Kardashian photoshopping and kids on social media and mums posting their kids. But it's more of like a marketing front, like it's like their business, like it's.
But it's like every individual now treats themselves as a brand. It's just like how they
Exactly.
It's how we're kind of it's the context of the world we live in. It's like, and everyone like markets themselves. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And it's like the discussion was like, well, why wouldn't you post your kid or like the actual photo of them two together? Why would you Photoshop someone else's head on it? Like, why would you do it? But
I don't understand.
She came to Twitter, like she admitted to it, and she was like, it's because like my content was like, my aesthetic was like all pinks.
I don't know. And that's a good enough excuse.
But it's my brand.
Okay. I guess.
And I just think it's definitely transitioned from once being something where you actually share your life and what you're getting up to now it actually being like a highlight reel. And personally, I tend to not even post to socials, and I'm like doing socials for everyone else. Yeah.
Well, I get tapped on the back by the other half and says like, yeah,
why aren't you posting?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel that as well. Like some of my girlfriends are like, oh, why didn't you post for my birthday? Like birthday shout outs, putting it on your story. Like, are we okay? Like, is something?
Like, didn't I call you?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, are we all good? Like,
we need some PDA.
Or another example, like something was posted and it was like,
you didn't like it.
You didn't reshare it. You were tagged in it. Are you offended by it? And it's like, no, I just don't want to reshare it. And it's, but it was taken offense. Like it was like, oh, like, is everything okay between us? It's like, yeah, I just don't want to share it. So it's interesting between like the psychology of it all. And yeah, it's, That's
such a minefield.
It truly is.
If you call someone for their birthday, like I would only birthday post if I was with someone on their birthday.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I tend to do the Facebook timeline, like the.
Oh, and how good is it? How you just get the pre-prompts on Facebook and you go, boom.
Well, you can't keep up with all of your friends' birthdays, like unless you have a calendar for
I've got a good thing in Facebook now where you can go to their page and you go see friendship, and it just says photos of you together, and you can just share a photo to the page. Say,
oh, that's cute.
So it's thoughtful but easy.
Someone called lazy, but yeah. No, it's but yeah, I do the timeline. But then some people are like, oh, you didn't put something on your story. You didn't put a photo of us, and it's like, I've gotten rid of those friends now, though.
Yeah. I'd probably refer to those friends as and move on.
I don't even post on Facebook. I just call. I just call people on their birthday.
But then I am.
Where's he going? Huh? Where's he going?
Tall break. Sorry, I too much
Time out.
You guys keep going. Let's repeat.
But now I've completely forgotten. I deleted all of my like young photos on Facebook. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like it. I would delete Facebook, but then I feel like everyone, like with groups or marketplace or whatever it is, like that's like the way to chat or
and even events. Still, some people do like Facebook events, which I'm not super into. I feel like a group chat is more sufficient. Yeah. But then if you've got 50,000 group chats, then that's problematic too.
Yeah.
So
But and
this is why I'm not on TikTok, because
You're missing out.
guys, I'm not on TikTok, but it's because I feel like I have too much of a social media overload already. And I know that I would probably in a way be better off for it if I was on TikTok, but
it's a form of entertainment.
I know.
It's positive entertainment,
so is Netflix. And my average screen time is already 4 hours apparently.
Yeah, we don't need any more hours on yours. Good gosh.
Yeah.
All right. Are they my grapes?
My grapes.
What? They're my grapes.
I'll put the bottom shelf.
They're not my grapes then. Okay, well, what was your last word to describe? Oh, you said it was a necessity. Well, just with job.
Workload.
Yeah, because like I know someone that doesn't have any social media at all whatsoever. She has a fake Facebook purely because she has to make connections with work. Like that's just her job. Like that's how they all communicate and make group chats, and like that's what's really, that's what runs her day-to-day schedule because she's running around. She buys stuff for sets, but she doesn't see any of this. And while I do see a positive where she like doesn't hear any of the news, doesn't get anxious about any of the stuff, she's also missing out on like entertainment and connecting with friends and all that stuff. So I don't know. It's saying
that the best holiday I've had, and V will say the same, is we went.
V is Ty's wife, by the way.
We went to Vanuatu for my brother's wedding, and it's like this little island called Erico Island. No reception.
Nice.
I legit went there thinking I was going to work, and they had like one like fucking box computer in the reception. So I legit had to sit down at the reception desk to check my emails, but no signal other than that.
Yeah.
And the first day I was you can imagine me without being able to check my emails.
Yeah. So you struggle to switch off though, don't you?
I definitely prefer to be on all the time than off, just because I like to make sure.
So when you're off, do you get anxious?
Not anxious. I just find a way to be on.
But like if someone threw away everything or you had no reception, do you get anxious not knowing what's happening?
For that trip, like I wasn't as busy as I am now. It was like a while back, but it was nice just to be offline because we actually our relationship, like you actually engage with each other for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Like now with a partner, it's like you probably legit max out at maximum 10 minutes engaged attention.
Yeah. But having like actual genuine, thoughtful conversations,
well,
not
just sitting next to each other without a device sucking you in. Like even just like that passive company. Yeah. But real company was pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty
and you even find it in certain situations where you're not doing anything, whether you're waiting for an Uber or you're, I don't know, sitting in an Uber or whatever you're doing where you're by yourself and you can't speak to someone, you always resort to like this, I know for me, like just being a safety, like what is it? Like a comfort thing. Like
to avoid talking to strangers.
Pretty much, yeah. So when I'm walking into the gym, I'm like on my phone, I'm not doing anything. Like I'm literally just like, I've got it up and I'm just like pretending that I'm on it because I've already been on it for the first half an hour. Like
saying that, I have like not social anxieties, but I avoid interactions with people I don't know in real life. Like the other day I was at the gym and I walked in and I was like, partner drill, and I stopped it out. I said, no, I can't, I'm not doing, I can't.
So do you think that's because we are so accustomed to having a device and not really doing one-on-one partner work with people these days? Like it's like even our meetings are like online, they're like through audio or whatever it is. Like even I find when people come to the office and they come for meetings, it's a bit like not used to this one, like interacting face-to-face with people. It's
well, in work, I really like interacting with people. I think just outside of work, it's like I don't know, like only recently I've become like allergic to it. Where I don't enjoy small talk. Like I don't show up to social events I typically would anymore. Yeah. I think maybe it could be just a...
Is that due to COVID as well? Like being so used to not really seeing people?
No, like I used to have to not... I used to not be able to be home, and now it's the opposite. Like I'll avoid social events at all costs.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
I can relate to
that. But I don't know, but it's not like a sad thing or anything. I think it's just a different phase.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because then if I was to describe my 3 words with socials, it would be like fun, entertaining, bright. Like
that's nice.
I definitely have positive connotations towards it, and because I've turned off all my notifications and I made socials what I wanted to make it, because very early on, like when I was growing up during school and stuff, for reference, I'm 21, just I think an age reference is kind of good. It was always like it's when everyone was comparing themselves, influencers were coming out, and it was like I grew up with socials being our form of connection. No writing letters, no whatever you guys used to do.
Landline phone calls.
Exactly right.
MSN Messenger.
Ooh.
Yeah, I did the nudges. I did nudge on MSN, yeah. But yeah, it was a really big part on relationships and status when I was growing up. And anyways, it was just, it still is detrimental to your mental health. But I chose to block everything out. So turn off notifications, deleted unfollowed any people that I thought just didn't make me feel good. But I obviously did a huge detox and a cull of all the things that didn't make me feel good on all platforms. But that's why it's like a positive place, because now whenever I go into the feed, it's like stuff that I like, as people saying things that I want to hear. And but I personally made it that way. So I went against what Instagram wanted to show me. But yeah, so, and then obviously like my job, like making content and entertaining purpose, like making entertainment for consumers is, yeah, it's fun. It makes me happy.
I have a question then. I'm intrigued about this because Ty and I are millennials. You're Gen Z.
Yes, but may I just add, I don't follow any news sources. I do not keep up with any news. I don't follow anything. Like I am lucky to watch The Project in the evening because I choose to watch The Project because for me, it's more digestible.
Yeah.
But I also... hate to say it, I don't really have a care for it. I don't really, it doesn't change my day to day.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
This is a rabbit hole for you and I then. So say and like this isn't nothing negative towards Liv, but like people that disengage from the news cycle and it kind of just self-curate their own their own intake. Is there and then they go and vote.
We're a worry. Is that what you're saying?
It's not a worry. It's like that, but it's just the world we live in.
It's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's reality.
Yeah, but there's a problem there, right?
Yeah, there is a problem. And, I think partly the responsibility lies with, you just said this, you watch the project because it's digestible.
Yeah, I don't want to say all that heavy stuff. Like the ABC is boring as batshit to me and it doesn't do anything for my life. It just I would choose to not know. Is that bad?
Well, no, I don't think it's bad. I think that's a human instinct, you know? Like you can only take so much, so much negativity, and there is a lot of negativity in the news cycle right now.
But it's it doesn't even I don't even feel negative after watching it. It doesn't really impact me.
Because it's just blur to you. It's like white noise.
I don't. Yeah, I just don't really.
You're not engaged.
I'm not entertained, so I'm not going to watch it.
Yes, we need to be entertained.
Yeah, I think partly the responsibility of that lies with, traditional news media, making stuff more digestible, making it more accessible, making it less opinionated and more factual.
Yes.
But I do also think, and we've talked about this, I do think when you're an adult and when you're part of the democratic process, it is everybody's responsibility to get informed. But I also understand that feels inaccessible because you feel like no one's talking to you. You
no
feel
one's speaking my language.
Yeah, they're really not. And that's a problem that lies with the politicians and the people who are leading our society because they're not speaking to every member of the community, and that's their job, to be public representatives of everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And just I don't know if they did something that was kind of more my speed. I don't know if I saw politicians, I'm not saying
making a TikTok.
Yes. Well, that's how I would digest it. That's where I see them, and seeing Anastasia Palaszczuk doing little TikTok dances. I don't know. It's entertaining to me.
But see, for me, if I saw Anna P doing TikTok,
that would impugn her credibility, I think.
Yeah.
But see, for me, I'm you go, girl. I'm that's cool. So, but yeah, it's very interesting. And we were listening to a really interesting talk about interesting. How many more times do I want to say it? But we were listening to social trends, and they were saying, TikTok is number one. And someone asked, so if I work for the government or for a politician, how do I kind of get them into that kind of
space?
Into that space. And that's what Anastasia Palaszczuk is doing. And I think old mate in Melbourne, what's his name?
Oh, Dan Andrews.
That's the one.
Yeah. the premier.
Yeah. I just had a mind blank.
Victoria.
He's already the most hated person in the country.
Is he?
I think at some point he was
depends on who you ask.
He was voted the most at some point in the pandemic as the most hated person in the country.
That's so
for
mean.
The lockdowns. Yeah. People were over it.
Yeah, for sure. But he creates TikToks as well. But that's how he kind of gets in with my age group. That's how we kind
it's smart.
Yeah, because then we remember him and we know his face and we think he's cool. So yeah, but then you guys think it's an absolute joke if you were to see him do that. You're just what? Going below standard?
Oh, well, there's a few ways to look at it, I suppose. You look at it in terms of, taxpayer resource being wasted on Dan Andrews dancing in front of a fucking camera. But then if it's educational and is actually spreading valuable knowledge to a cohort that digests it that way, sure.
AKA me.
Yeah. But I think you're never going to please everyone.
No. No.
And but if you saw, it's like seeing your dad on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's like someone.
But what about that Stacey dad, that guy that's got millions of followers?
But he's
not a politician.
He's not also legislating.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he's not leading.
I would make him a politician.
No, but he's not leading that. His daughter's leading it.
True.
And it's almost like a behind the scenes of which is cool. Where I think a politician could get away with that way, where it's they have a media advisor that films behind the scenes stuff to give. It's almost like a sneak peek into their persona, their day, what they stand for, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But when they're actively trying too hard to be cool,
yeah,
no,
yeah. Yeah, I think if that was what it was, lifting the veil on actually what your taxpayer money goes to, you know, their salary, what they do in a day. When in my brief foray into working as a media advisor in federal politics, that was something I really pushed, because I think otherwise you don't see these people as human. You don't see them as working for you, doing their jobs. You just see them as these guys that, you know, collect a enormous salary and, you know, sit and yell at each other across the room a few times a year.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So do you think, we'll move on to another question that I want to ask. So do you think should news be allowed on social media?
Absolutely. It's no brainer. It's like particularly given like where free-to-air TV is going, like I think it's a necessity.
Yeah, I agree with that. But like we were talking about earlier, the clickbaity or one-line headlines, even if they're not clickbaity, it's still problematic because you can't possibly fully inform anybody in one sentence about current issues, you know, and that's just the way it is, unless you were posting, you know, I really enjoy when people post like several little squares, and each one of them has like a little bit of information on it, and it all culminates in a story. That sort of thing I appreciate. But it's really, I mean, social media is still so much like the Wild West with all of that. You would have to have somebody really kind of, I mean, all of the like journalistic ethics that exist currently refer to traditional media, not to socials or any kind of digital platform. So I think there really needs to be like an overhaul of that, and some sort of framework to hold people accountable for the way in which they're delivering news and the kind of the topics that they're actually selling as news. Because, I mean, we've all seen like certain publications, which I won't name, putting like, you know, top 10 Gold Coast influencers as like a, you know, a news headline.
But I read that.
I mean, sure, but it's not like... maybe it is news. I don't know. See, that's a generational thing.
I don't consider it news. I just read it because it popped up, and I was
consider that to be like maybe a current affair or like gossip or something like that. Maybe it's a column, but
well, yeah. For me, if there was like top 10 influencers, on the Gold Coast or whatever it was, like obviously I work with influencers, so it was news for me to know who's trending and who I should be working with for our clients. So that's also why I read that, but.
Fair shake. And this is the other thing, like that's a good, well, that's
a good term. Fair shake. I haven't heard that before.
That's a good thing about news being on social media, is that you can consume a lot of different perspectives all at once. Whereas like traditionally, if you were tuning in for the 6 p.m. news, you can only watch one, you know?
Yes.
So at least now we can consume news across like a more diverse spectrum if we want to. But
if we want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do like how if news was to be on, well, it is on socials, that you can choose what news you want to see. You can choose what publications you want to follow. And you have that choice instead of like mainstream news where it's just like everything is in the one spot. I think it's nice to, if you wanted news about a certain topic, you're able to follow a certain channel that produces that.
Yeah. This is also problematic though, which we've kind of, you mentioned before. It's, you know, then you get yourself into an echo chamber because you're only following people who confirm or reflect the views that you already have. Because it's easier to do that to, you know, see your own views reflected back to you than it is to be challenged. So
it pulls out the kind of the ability of like critical analysis of your own thought, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of news now is not objective, which is problematic in itself. But then the fact that you can choose to only consume the news that's not objective, that reconfirms what you already believe, that can be incredibly dangerous. And I think that's why we're seeing this intensely kind of partisan vibe that's existed in the USA for many, many years arriving in Australia, because people are only getting one perspective. And once you only get that one perspective, it's really hard to put yourself in someone else's shoes.
And taking that back to socials as well, it happens all the way through to politics, I find, through to fashion, even like I go to a playground and with Bowie and all the kids are wearing the same tracksuit from the latest trending at-home mummy stylist. So it's you kind of people are like, I feel like society is losing its ability to have individuals as well, or individual thought process, or even like losing out the power of critical thinking and
fully.
It's scary because it's easier to follow. Especially in this day and age, it's easier to follow than to ask a controversial question or go down your own path, right?
So let me ask, so do you think social media is like destroying creativity and being individual?
I think like true creatives like don't really give a fuck about anyone anyway, so that they will kind of carry their own torch.
Yeah.
But like people that are looking to be creative, yeah, absolutely. It's like they jump on the latest trends, and you see it's like, You go to Burley Pav of a weekend, and the person that's dressing unique and creatively is probably looks like a bit of a weirdo.
Yeah.
Where you have the fucking clones with the matching Gucci
the cookie
bags,
cutter.
the cookie, and they're the cool kids. Like it's just it's more. But there's security in that, I guess, for people as well. So whilst it's easy.
And validation, knowing that you all kind of dress the same or you all kind of do the same. It's validation and confidence that you kind of have like alliances with all these people in the community.
So it's easy to kind of smear shit on it and say this is bad, but it gives people a sense of belonging as well. I don't know if that it goes either way, I guess.
Yeah. And one of the things, like I've said a lot of negative things about social media so far, but one of the things I love about it is the way that it allows people to find new creative avenues for informing, entertaining. And, I always get a little bit triggered when like certain people rag out on your generation, Gen Z, because I'm like, these guys are the most innovative, creative communicators of all of us, because you've grown up with this technology and you're using it in a way and making it your own in a way that's like changing the game for how we talk to each other. And that's not a bad thing, it's like anything, it depends on how you use it and what your intent is and what the intent of other people on the platform is. But I always love to see like what the youths are doing on, eventually TikTok trickles down to me on Instagram and I love to see it. It's so fun. I'm like, oh, these young people are like.
So the stuff that we're producing is fun, and then the stuff that you guys are producing. Bow, bow. Just kidding.
You're meant to be doing that for me.
Exactly. So that's where we come in.
You're my creative director in my.
Yes. I'm your manager.
Huh?
Your influencer manager.
Yeah.
No, so I don't know. I feel like I can be more creative than ever with social media. But then again, I will preface on certain platforms. Instagram, I hardly touch because it's just not where I feel I can be creative. And when I don't feel creative, I shut down and I don't want to use it. So Instagram for me is, hardly post to it. It could be like a really nice photo. It could be like highlights for me. And then TikTok, though, is like you can do a dance, you can be silly, you can do voiceovers, you can do reviews of things, you can do day in the lives, whatever you want to do. And that's where I kind of thrive. And I like that everyone else is doing that as well. And everyone feels so comfortable. Like guys are dancing like beforehand. If you posted that on like Instagram as like a normal video before Reels, it would like be like cancelled or whatever. Like people can just do what they want to do and be creative. And even like artists, like being able to upload their own work and I think it's a really creative space if you want it to be.
And you can find your people, like when you're talking about people who are, maybe don't fit into a traditional mold of what is. Let me rephrase that. I'm trying to think of what to say. You can find your people. You can find people who are, creative in the same way as you, like the same niche things as you are of, identify as the same sexual orientation, identify as, whether it's trans or non-binary or asexual or, people who might not have seen themselves reflected in anybody
mainstream
else.
media.
Yeah, and still are not really represented in mainstream media. That is so valuable for people who might not otherwise think that they matter.
And I think the positive thing is as well, social media has like this algorithm where they find out who you are, and then that's how they join you with other people with the similar interests, the similar creative style, or the similar whatever it is. Like that algorithm brings you all together, which I really like, and then I know that I'm always going to have content that's positive to me. Okay, let's talk about social media and companies being allowed to show advertisements. Do we think it's dope or nope? I just incorporated that. But yeah, should they can't speak. Should they be allowed to show advertisements? What do we think?
Who, sorry?
Social media companies. Companies on social media.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a
Why?
hard yes from her.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, that's what the platforms are built for.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of putting products in front of you. Obviously, like, people need to be aware of what advertising is and how they're being marketed to. But
yeah. I think there's also a point where they obviously take advantage of, for example, like my age group, or having things available like Afterpay or ZipPay or whatever it is, and they're pushing that through our social media so that we always know that there's always a way that we can purchase and spend our money that we may not exactly have. And for me, if I wasn't financially aware of what I have, that could be really detrimental. And I know heaps of girlfriends that max out their Afterpay every week just because they're constantly seen on their social media through influencers wearing the clothes from a certain company, and a certain company then like throws Afterpay ads all over their screen.
Sure.
They think it's something that is very obtainable for them, regardless of how much they earn or regardless of even if they've got the money. I think that's really dangerous.
I think that comes down to regulation, which I feel like regulation is, slowly catches up to tech.
Yeah. Even a regulation of if they only showed certain ads during certain hours due to certain stats of when people are most like.
There needs to be a level of consumer kind of responsibility as well. You can't. You can't blame an app. Well, it's something you can, but you can't blame a company for putting an ad in front of you and then you make a decision. I want that.
Yeah. But it's also gotten to a stage as well where certain social media platforms, or all social media platforms, they have less data to work with now as well. So us as having clients and putting making social media ads, we have less to work with in terms of targeting. So they use their own algorithm. So that's why
creativity is so important as well, because brand equity is more important than ever. Brand values are more important than ever.
Totally.
You'll pay a premium because a brand's values align with your values. So, if anything, I like the idea of data being stripped back, because you come back to this level playing field again of like it's brand on brand again, which is like in my head, that's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you have to offer? Like, what is your, at the end of the day, it's like, what is your brand?
Well, how do you connect with your community better?
Yeah.
Why is your brand better than the other brand?
It comes back to the drawing board of your actual talent of digital marketing, creativity, graphics, and your ultimate, like your product.
Your product. Well, these days it's like having an exceptional product or a good product that solves a problem is like, that's entry level stuff now. Like your brand DNA that separates you from the rest of the market. Like that's where the real value lies, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say I've made some really solid purchases based on my social media ads, but
solid meaning expensive?
No, just meaning like good. Meaning like I didn't have any regrets. Yeah. But I will say like I'm also coming at it from a financially literate perspective. I know how much money I earn. I know how much I can spend. And also from a perspective as someone who can think critically, do I need this?
Yeah.
Is this a reputable business that I'm being marketed to by? All of those sorts of things.
But if you weren't that?
Well, here's the thing. I think Ty is absolutely right. There's definitely a degree of consumer responsibility with that. I also think our entire system hasn't caught up to where we're at. Like, are we we learning in school how to think critically about how social media markets to us, how we're targeted by certain brands, how, you know, our financial literacy, which I know I certainly wasn't taught anything about being financially literate and budgeting in school, how that can play into the way we're marketed to and how that can leave us vulnerable to certain companies.
No, but we do learn how to do it from the other end, from a consumer psychology perspective when you're studying marketing and sales.
Yeah.
So you can learn the other side, but they're not too eager on.
Yeah,
But
there's two sides.
again, like I've been advertised to as well and made big purchases based on being targeted on socials, and I'm aware of it. But I'm also like, again, you're critical thinking. So I wouldn't have known this exists unless I was part of this funnel. But I enjoy the product.
Yeah.
I'm aware that I was, you know,
Conned? No.
like mind raped a little bit.
What did you call that?
But it's a good outcome. I'm happy because I have something because that process also conditions me for pleasure.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole point of it. Like, without that, there's no dopamine at the end. You're fucking left with just, you know, Wheat Bix and.
What's the most expensive thing you've bought based on a social media ad?
This is a good question.
A Range Rover Classic.
Really? That's a pretty big purchase.
And that was like that was a GQ ad out of the UK targeting me, telling me how cool these fucking cars are.
And you bought it.
And then I searched for one on Marketplace, and they're rare as, and then I found one like within 72 hours, and I owned it within like 4 days. And now it's in it. You've seen it.
The old one?
Yeah, and it's in the shop now getting resprayed.
Wow, that's a really good, I feel like that's really good targeted advertising.
And that's because it was a GQ article, so I'd read GQ.
Reputable.
And I was up one of their more recent articles on why the fucking hipsters of the UK are walking from the new Range Rovers and are now embracing the old and the classics.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what have you just bought?
What? No, I may have ordered a new Range Rover. But that's 13 months away. But
Why not both?
Right. So tip the head to the old and welcome the new.
Yeah,
Sure.
wow. Interesting. And do you think it was because those ads constantly popped up and you're like, oh my gosh, it's like meant to be, like it's targeting me, or it just simply came up at the right time and you're like, yeah, look,
no, it's because I went down a silly rabbit hole, and I was editorial, it wasn't even advertorial, it was editorial. And I read it and I was like, these are fucking cool.
Yeah.
How cool
Wow.
it is. And then
GQ.
Yeah, and then I hit Marketplace and I'm very lucky I found one.
Wow.
Because they're rare as in good condition.
That's cool. We need to pop up a
photo
of what that is.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a car person. I don't know.
No, neither. Have you? What? You've just mainly clothes?
Oh, I haven't bought anything like
Huge
car price, but I probably more like event tickets and stuff like that. Like seeing events coming up and being like, "This is my vibe. This is my speed." I remember last
watermelon
year.
Sugar.
Hey. We can cut that out.
Remember last year I went to that like interactive theatre, Edgar Allan Poe interactive theatre thing. That was a Instagram ad. Yeah.
You know, like
And it
Yes
was
Man?
awesome.
You know the movie Yes Man?
Movie, yeah.
Yeah, Nicole, like kind of like her alter ego's like, you know, the chick that Jim Carrey like starts dating.
I don't know what that one.
I haven't seen it. Now I want to know who this is.
She just like the photograph runner, like they run and they photograph while they're running. They're not like, they can only photograph while they're running. It's like
No, don't remember that.
I want to get this joke so bad, but I don't. I need to go and watch this movie.
It's cool. It's like
I can't stand Jim Carrey. Sorry. Controversial.
No, I hate him too.
Okay, cool.
not that
Wonderful. Moving on.
Someone bang the hammer.
Okay. But for me personally, social ads, I like the ones that have promo codes because I'm a cheap bitch. No. I like the ones that get me discounts.
You know, they like jack up the price like for like 20% and give you a 10% discount.
No.
Yeah, bro. That's how it works. It's like Black Friday. That's why the ACCC had to come in and say, hey, stop jacking up your prices before Black Friday and then giving everyone a 10% coupon.
Oh my God, really?
This is the moment Liv's realised that she's been lied to.
Yeah.
Not everybody. I'm sure not everybody does that, though.
No. But yeah, I like the promo codes and I don't click on them because I'm smart, big brain things. I will search them and go directly to the source and I will remember the promo code because I don't want them to get my results.
I bought an Astro Boy this tall the other day because I got targeted with an ad.
That's cute.
Astro Boy,
Astro
vintage
Boy.
Astro Boys, like this big.
It was a TV show back in like the 50s
You don't know
or
Astro
60s.
Boy?
What are you going to do with that?
Whatever the fuck I want, even I don't know.
Is it just like your snow globe?
It's bigger. It's 40 centimeters, but he might.
But it just sits there.
you can sit in the front of the car.
That's cute.
Cool.
I like that. Yeah.
It's furniture. It's like aesthetics.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm like one of those weird like anti-IKEA dudes.
Anti-IKEA.
I'd rather something like weirdly, I would rather something secondhand with a bit of character
Yeah.
than like an IKEA.
Even a couch.
Yep, I'd much prefer like at home. I've got like this like it's like I call it Randy orange because I use the color when I launched Randy Warhol. But it's like a neon orange. It's like this stuff.
Couch.
My couch at home is like that orange, but a Nick Scali orange felt couch.
Wow.
I feel like that's very controversial.
That would be a
Secondhand
first for
couch.
them. They would have been like, are you sure you want orange?
It's like
It's vintage.
it came from a bougie house. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it depends. It's different if you're buying it from like a uni share house, isn't it?
No, this person. So we went to pick it up, and yeah, see this one. It's like that orange.
People watching, you can
that's
see the
cool.
photo of the couch.
Like that.
But it was like a house in Barden in Brisbane. And
okay.
they just finished building their house, and they just furnished it. I was so lucky. And the neighbours next door made them a ridiculous offer to buy the house, and the hubby sold the house to the neighbours. And we rocked up, and the wife was like, "Yeah, my husband just sold the house, and now I have to sell all the furniture."
She
Because
must
they
Oh my
made it.
gosh.
fuming.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
So we got a couch that got sat on like 3 times. So
Nice.
Right.
thrifty.
Yeah, very.
Okay, well,
Where are we at? We got to do our recommended reading.
I reckon we get into our recommended reading. That was a great discussion, guys. I thought that was great.
I mean, we went off topic a lot, but you
We
know
did.
what? That's why Connor's
But this
here.
is
He's
only
gonna
our
edit
second
it.
episode, so please be kind.
Everyone can meet Connor. He's the man that.
Yes. He's the man that makes things happen. All right, so shall we get into our required reading segment? Required reading. Ty, kick us off.
My required reading it's an old piece of content from 2013. I wish I actually watched it earlier. It's actually a TED Talk by a clinical psychologist called Meg J. And it's called Why 30 is Not the New 20s. So, effectively goes down a bit of a rabbit hole why you shouldn't buy into the concept that 20 are the years to find yourself and kind of just effectively waste just having a good time. I think I watched it when I was like 28, and I wish I'd seen it earlier because it just kind of sets the tone for them being really, really important kind of, I guess, developmental years from a personal perspective, professional perspective, like investing in the human capital. So and it's easy to digest and listen to.
Oh,
So
nice.
most
We
people
love that.
So someone shared it with me, and then I've shared it probably with heaps of people at different stages of their life, whether it's like kind of having a bit of a career breakdown, relationship breakdowns, or if they're in a situation that you know that they shouldn't be in terms of relationships. Like it's like just watch this and
Bit of a nudge.
Yes, good for nudges. So,
Nice.
I'll link that in and watch it.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes and you can send it to your friends if they need a bit of a nudge.
Sounds good.
That sounds great. All right, Nick, what's yours?
Well, mine is actually a required reading that you gave me yesterday that I've already gotten deep into.
Now, these required readings don't have to be readings. They can be podcasts, YouTube videos, Netflix, whatever. It's literally like our weekly dopes, but it's a required. It's a must. You need to do it.
Yeah. You need to get around this. It's called the Left Right Out podcast. Liv just recommended it to me yesterday.
I recommended it off the basis that I hadn't watched it
Yeah.
or listened to it, but
and I'm already 2 episodes deep because on my commute, I listened to one last night commuting home, and I listened to another one this morning commuting to work. So basically what it is it's these 2 Australian journalists talking about politics. So we're obviously in a critical time right now. We're in the lead up to the federal election. And these 2 women, they receive questions from people and they do a deep dive based on one question per episode. So there's some really interesting topics in there. It's things like which party is best for women, which party is best for the environment, which party is best for small business, things like that. And because they're journalists, I feel like they're credible. They're pretty even-handed in terms of how they deal with certain things. It's a really conversational, digestible way to get informed. Obviously, you should never get all of your information about politics from one source, but it's a good starting point. It's a good starting point if you don't even know what you should know.
Yeah,
they're
cool.
really good.
No, I'll have to listen to my recommended. But we'll put that in the show notes as well. I think you can only listen to that one on Spotify, though.
It's on Spotify,
It's Spotify exclusive, yeah. So, yeah, make sure that you listen to that one. And my one is actually another podcast as well, but it's Diary of a CEO. So it's Stephen Bartlett, and it's his episode with Ben Francis. So it's a 2021 episode, so last year. And Ben Francis is the founder of Gymshark.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's currently 29, but he started Gymshark like ages ago when he was like 19, 20.
He wasn't even interested in training, was it? It was just full just e-commerce opportunity from the outset.
I think he also went to the gym and then met a mate, and then that's how they kind of started it. But it is huge now. And just listening to his story, and he's actually not the CEO. He after a few years, he stepped back and he's like, my strengths are actually with branding and marketing. And so he now works in that area and he's employed a guy with a lot more experience as a CEO into that role. Nice. And I just thought it was interesting how he let go pretty much his like baby to someone else because he knew that person would make the business a lot better. Hence it's huge. And just like how his world kind of blew up and how his goals for Gymshark are to be like the Lululemon of the UK, because Lululemon is for like Canada, like that's what it's known for. So yeah, I just thought it was really interesting, and to hear perspective from like a 19-year-old, obviously he was 19 when he kind of started the business, his thought processes, what was kind of behind it, and all the stresses and kind of hurdles that he had to go through creating such a huge empire. So I thought that was super interesting. Anyways, all right, well, that's a wrap on this week's episode. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being a part of it, guys.
It's been fun. Ty's checked out.
Yeah, Ty's gone. That's all done. But,
sorry, I got a notification.
But yeah, if you guys have any thoughts, feelings, or suggestions about this episode, leave a comment in our YouTube. What do we say? Comment, like, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. See, I'm young and cool.
And if you see me on the street, don't say hello.
No.
They do say hello.
We're not famous.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger. Keep your distance. You might have Rona, so people may not see you for the next week.
I've had 3 rat tests in the last 12 hours. I'm Rona free. I think I'm just tired.
Yeah.
2 to 4 days.
Fair enough.
Huh?
Well, guys, look after your health. That's the moral of the story. Mental
and physical. Hey. If you need to get off the socials or turn off notifications, do that.
And get off the booze and get off the bag.
Said it here. All right, well, I think that's a wrap. We'll talk to you next week.
You feel alive, let's hit the dance floor. Don't work too hard, my break a backbone. Return of the Mac, the king is back though. Corvette and cash, I never like those.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you love this episode, please give us a 5-star rating and make sure you follow us on socials to stay up to date with all the weird and wacky things we get up to. You can find us on Instagram at No Brilliant Jerks Podcast or Sunnydale Studios, or you can even find us on our agency Insta at KKO Agency. And if you'd like to put a face to a name, you can watch all of our podcast recordings on our YouTube at Sunnydale Studios. Now, we'll pop up all our social handles and links discussed in today's episodes in our show notes below. Feel free to also email us with your own dopes and nopes and we'll share them on the podcast. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. We shall be in your ear holes again next Wednesday.
Okay, bye.
This is a production of Sunnydale Studios.